When Pluto went out of bounds the last two times, out of bounds south in 1774 for 21 years and out of bounds north in 1938 for 15 years, those periods were both marked by violent wars, and not just one war per out of bounds cycle, but two wars for each Pluto out of bounds period. The American Revolution occurred shortly after Pluto went out of bounds south in 1774. Once that war was officially over with the Treaty of Paris on September 3, 1783, Pluto reached its highest declination, its most out-of-bound point of the entire 21-year cycle, on October 8, 1783. The French Revolution began 5 years later, in 1789. The First French Republic was declared on September 21, 1792, and King Louis XVI was executed by guillotine on January 21, 1793, followed by Robespierre's Reign of Terror until 1794. Pluto finally went back in bounds on November 12, 1795. Napoleon's coup, ending the First French Republic, was 4 years later, on November 9, 1799. World War II occurred during Pluto's out-of-bound north cycle that began in 1938. World War II ran from 1939 to 1945, when the Allies defeated the Axis powers of Hitler's Germany, Mussolini's Italy, and Hirohito's Japan. Pluto's highest declination, its most out-of-bound point the entire 15-year cycle, was on April 10, 1946, after World War II was over. The Korean War then began 4 years later, on June 25, 1950, when North Korea invaded South Korea. Pluto went back in bounds on May 27, 1953 for good, and the Korean War ended 2 months later on July 27, 1953 with an armistice, not a peace treaty. Pluto was once again out of bounds, this time out of bounds south, just as in the American and French revolutions. Like then, America is dealing with yet another tyrant, not King George, but King Donald Trump, who has assumed kingly powers ceded to him by his MAGA Congress and his MAGA Supreme Court. He sent the U.S. military into American cities to stifle the free speech and civil rights of citizens who disagree with his oppressive regime. He's also sent the military into international combat around the globe in just the first year of Pluto's out-of-bounds cycle. In the Caribbean, where he's blown up alleged drug boats and murdered over 150 people. In Venezuela, where he's toppled the dictator there and seized the country's oil. In Iran, where he helped Israel's Netanyahu bomb Iran's nuclear facilities. And in Iran again, where he recently assassinated the tyrannical dictator, with no plan for what comes next. Trump's threatened allies with invasion, both Denmark and Canada, claiming he wants to seize their territories for himself. And he sided with the murderous Russian dictator Putin, who invaded our democratic ally, Ukraine. The highest declination of this current out-of-bounds south cycle will be in 2030, so any major wars the U.S. gets into should be over by then. But if this out-of-bounds cycle is like the previous two, then another major war will probably break out in the last half of the cycle, so from 2030 to 2035.